Hello, this is Derek from Trade Technicals Blog Spot. Over this video, we're going to go through some economic information, stuff in the news today. Bernard Madoff, his sentencing was today. Some articles on CNBC that are saying things are good, things are not good, like I've been saying lately, contradicting articles. Talk a little bit of what happened with gold and silver today, along with some economic information coming soon, along with consumer confidence and unemployment. And then a Q&A from a email on investing at the end of this video. It should be about 17 minutes in length. And first off, we'll start with the Bernard Madoff situation as the start of this article. There's 3 articles, each in the more info button. The first one, cheers erupted as a federal judge sentenced swindler Bernard Madoff to 150 years in prison on Monday, calling his claims less than compelling. U.S. District Judge Denny Chin said Madoff's breach of trust was massive and that he lied to investors and to the SEC to buy homes, yachts, and pay country club fees. He called the maximum sentence symbolic to those who might imitate the fraud and the victims seeking relief. Here, the message must be sent that Mr. Madoff's crimes were extraordinarily evil, and this kind of manipulation of the system is not just a bloodiless crime that takes place on paper, but one instead that takes a staggering toll. Okay, now the rest of the article is in the more, I'm not going to read any more on that particular article, but that last sentence, that last paragraph is totally interesting because it said, here the message must be sent that the crimes were so evil and that this manipulation is not just such a huge bloodless crime, but so staggering. And that's interesting, and because of this, 150 years we have had federal justice. Yet, we look at some other crimes like the 911, which the evidence has not been put to court. People have been saying, 911, you're a conspiracy theorist if you think, oh, we did it, the government was in charge of it. Yet there hasn't been any court cases. So, wouldn't you be a conspiracy theorist to think Madoff did this? But you'd be saying, but look at the evidence we have. And I say the same to you. And same thing even with the US dollar, the way that they've been manipulating the system. I'm talking about whatever's in charge of this monetary system. Whether you call it the Illuminati, the New World Order, whatever government you want to call it, the ones that have put us into a dollar system like we have, that is not backed by gold or silver or just printed through phantom money, yet these crimes are okay. That's pretty much how I'm comparing that to. The second article was one by Wilbur Ross, chairman and CEO of W.L. Ross and Company, and he said that the economy is unlikely to recover. And it's the consumer still has not been rehabilitated, and that's the big problem, halting the return of growth, given that the consumer used to be almost 70% of the U.S. economy, which he told Squawk Box on CNBC. And the big thing here is that, almost 70%, that's like two-thirds is 67%. And he said used to be that. So apparently it's not anymore because they don't got jobs, they don't got money. And the jobs that are being lost, we have a plumber who was making $51,000 a year who's now getting close to minimum wage, 32 hours stocking shelves, flipping burgers, cleaning washrooms, that kind of thing. That's how this world is going towards. So that's why it's no longer two-thirds. Yet the thing is, you just click on the related articles, and one says, I don't read them all, but I decided to read Romer more optimistic on the economy. The head of the White House Council on Economic Advisors is more optimistic that the U.S. economy is close to stabilization, the Financial Times reported on Monday. The emergency spending package will boost the economy over the next few months, but while a V-shaped recovery is still possible, it is too soon to begin raising interest rates, Christina Romer told the paper. And once again, the rest of that article is in the more. But the thing is, first of all, they talk about a V-shaped recovery. The thing about a V-shaped recovery is that's just saying that the stock market is going higher. Where do we get this money from? As Gerald Celente says, that's right. It is phantom money that they're printing. So if the stock market goes higher, then inflation will most likely get higher, as really that's what the concerns on the economy is. They're coming out saying that it's all based on the stock market and on the economy. That isn't true. It's part of it, but it's not even close to the clear indicator of what the economy really is. They're also saying that it's too soon to begin raising interest rates. Well, it's impossible to raise interest rates and to have a V-shaped economy, because every time you raise interest rates, the market's going to go down. The higher they raise it, the higher it's going down. If they came out and said, oh, interest rates are up 1% or 100 basis points, Dow Jones down 250 points, like that. That's the type of, that's what's going to happen. I mean, you either raise it or you don't. Red pill, blue pill. I mean, that's really the situation that we're in. So they're really not going through the true fundamentals on here. And then they said they're keeping opposite, they're saying opposite things. That's the big thing there. Gold and silver today, very interesting. I don't know the reason why the drop happened today. I mean, yes, they go up and down on different days. That's normal in stock trading, but we had the stocks go up really big today. We had oil going up. We had the DBC commodities going up, and gold and silver did not go up. And the dollar just broke even pretty much. Didn't really go up or to go down. So there's got to be some sort of manipulation going on for the selling there of some sort. Now it's trying to figure out. I have no idea. The only best guess I can get is the IMF selling it. And that's the only thing it is a guess. If anyone knows anything, please leave a comment or send a message. Consumer confidence report is going to come out on Tuesday. They're expecting 55.1. It was a rise to 54.9 last month. And I mean, once again, these are government data, government regulations. They're the ones that are bringing this information to you. So whichever way they want to give it to you, they're going to do it. They don't survey too many people, and you don't know who they're surveying anyway. Unemployment numbers are going to be coming out on Friday, and every month it's always the same. It's always higher and higher. I mean, some would say, well, only went from like 7.8 to 8.1. That's not as bad of a raise. Well, when it goes up higher, no matter what, it's still more jobs lost, and those numbers, of course, are not their numbers. Although CNBC recently did put real unemployment on their screen about a little over a week ago, and they put the real unemployment, which is 15 to 18%, which was interesting. Mark Haynes didn't say anything about it, but it was on the screen. And finally, I received an email, it was an investing strategy email. I'm going to read the email and reply back to it. Hi, I found your profile when I was browsing through Ron Paul, Jim Rogers, Peter Schiff video blogs, and I am new to trading, and I am in total agreement with you and others on the collapse of the United States dollar. I think we will be the next Russia, and it will not be pretty. I would like to start converting my dollars into actual assets that can provide for me and my family during the upcoming disaster. Like I said, I'm fairly new at trading, and I'm pretty good at swing trading and doing options. When you say get into real assets, could you give me more examples? Do you mean buying ETFs that are backed by real gold like Perth Mint in Australia, or getting into companies like Potash, Agrium, or Mosaic? The problem is that I don't know how to trade outside the United States. Everything is ADR or on the New York Stock Exchange. Even if it is foreign company, I wouldn't mind converting to Canadian dollars, because they seem relatively more stable than the U.S. dollars. You've been in the market more than me. I'm not sure how to plan my exit strategy for the next crisis. First thing is first, the Canadian dollar. I don't know about this right now. I mean, all dollars are relatively going to fall as long as they're fiat or they're not backed by much, because it's just a piece of paper. That's really what it comes down to. So exchanging $1 to another is like playing a casino. You're trying to see which will outperform each other and try to make a couple bucks along the way. That's really what other currencies are all about. But when it comes down to it, it's all currencies that are going to fail, which really brings to the key word of real assets. And the key word is real or tangible. If you look on a company's balance sheet, you're going to see stuff like intangible assets. Those are stuff that are not real, stuff that you can't touch, like a copyright name. That's just something that is not real. So real assets is stuff that you use, whether it's for your health, prosperity, enjoyment. It can be anything. This means the essentials like food and water and everything you and your friends and family need is like a necessity. That's what you should be focusing on, and they should be the first assets to be concerned about. And I recommend, if it's possible, to have at least 6-month living supply plan ready in play. That means you have 6 months worth of food and water and whatever you need. And remember, not everything that you need, but having funds available to you, like money and gold and silver, stuff that can get you the food later. If you need to buy some beef, maybe you have some silver to purchase with it. And if you have money, if you don't mind paying the inflated price, you might not have much of a choice though. You want to look at items in which you can resell later for assets that you're purchasing. Many people are not going to be preparing, or at least as heavily, for this economic crisis, and the strategy is to purchase as many of these real assets you can hold on for later. This will give you money in 2010 and 2011. It can be simple things like food, and especially compact food that has a great expiry date. These all have expiry dates like late 2011 and later, and that's the year and time that I'm really looking for, is later on, like end of 2011 into 2012. Try to get good health food if you can, but definitely food you know you're going to be able to eat, or others are going to eat. Because when the dollar goes through this collapsing period, and it's most likely going to happen relatively soon, gold and silver are going to be the ones that are going to take over. Now, I like silver more than I like gold because I like its super long-term chart. I mean, I think silver is the best, the bargain we've ever had since ever on the planet right now at $14 to $20 an ounce. And with that being said, I mean, I think post-2014 and in 2015-16, which is when I think the economy will recover, is why silver will be good, because we're getting into new energies like wind, solar, geothermal, and whatever is needed to make these energies run are going to be amazing assets, and silver is going to be one of them. When you're also looking for what you need, what else do you need? Do you need a tractor? Do you need a car? Do you need anything, fertilizer, whatever you plan on needing is what you should be looking for. Definitely the energy situation, is the energy grid is got a decent chance of just going down, if you will. So stuff to plan out. Also, I mean, you want to get by, turn cash into these assets and such, but here's the deal. You got to plan on creating more assets, because what are you going to do over the next 3 years to create assets from your abilities? Whether you're building houses for somebody, whether you're doing whatever you're doing, how are you going to create other assets? And that's something to have a plan for the next 3 years. And what assets are you looking for? You're looking for gold, silver, hyperinflated money. You're looking for food, water, alcohol, heck, any kind of drug that's in demand for yourself or anyone that you know. Clothes, bedding, energy. I mean, whatever you can come up with, or what you need, you got to find a way to get it. That's why silver and gold are going to work so well, I think, in 2010 and 2011. And because most people are going to accept payment in silver and gold. So, I mean, if I'm looking to buy fertilizer, not everybody's going to have fertilizer, and the guy with fertilizer wants chicken eggs. Well, I don't got chicken eggs, so maybe instead of trading stuff that he doesn't need, I can just give him silver, and then he can trade whatever he wants from the silver. So that's why I think it's going to be doing very well. Also, as we move in for investing, you want to, as far as an advanced strategy is concerned, what assets are going to do better than others, like food, metals. Well, of course, you got tractors, vehicles, houses, any type of asset, guns, ammo. They're going to go up and down in value, and you're going to want to, if you want to be a good strategy of investors, you want to buy these items when they're low and sell them when they're high. I mean, that's a lot of work and a lot of skill, but if you're able to figure out which ones are going to have it, then excellent. Every area is different, because Texas is going to be a little different than Missouri, which is going to be different than Vancouver, which is different than Toronto, which is different from London, which is different from Sydney. Everyone has different needs based on the culture of the area. So look for your own culture and see how that works out, because, I mean, you can buy, say, maybe 20 cans of ravioli with 1 silver coin today, and maybe next year you might get 30 coins or 30 cans because the value of silver outweighed food, and then maybe you might only get 25 cans because food outweighed silver. Yet, I mean, you get to the point of dollars. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that this fiat money gets to the point where you could literally take $100 bills, a little stack of money, which is 10 grand, and get like 4 gallons of water with it, which isn't all that much. And the reason why is because you're trading 4 gallons of water for a pretty nice souvenir. And that's exactly what this money is going to be. This is $100 trillion. It's nothing more than a souvenir. That's all this is a souvenir. And that's what you're doing when you're holding on to dollars, is going for a souvenir. And that's how inflation will most likely work. The dollar product goes up to 2, 3, 4. Price controlling is just not going to work, and then that's when the whole collapsing happens. And shortly after that, with the revolution, the dollar will collapse. Now, as far as the ETFs are concerned, you were asking if buying these ETFs and stocks is a good idea. If you enjoy playing the casino and you think you can beat it, then it might be a good idea, but for most people it's not. But if you know what you're doing, then it could be, because if you think you could turn $10,000 equity market or equity account into $40,000, you'd be doing pretty well, depending on how long it took to do it. Normally when you play these, it's like putting 10,000 in equity markets, like putting 10,000 into a poker site. You got to beat VIG, but not only do you have to beat VIG, you also have to beat inflation. And normally beating inflation isn't that difficult until now, and it is difficult now. So even if you were to turn 10,000 into 25,000 in a year, you would have been better off buying real gold, real silver, and real food, because you're turning a dollar product is not 250, it's 444 type thing, and that's a massive hyperinflation. And if say inflation is 100% and you turn 10,000 into 50,000, well, you'd be gaining, because you would have 20 or 50,000 instead of 10. A dollar product is now 2, so you would spend $2, but you'd be able to buy more, because if you buy 10,000 before at $1 a piece, with 50,000 you can buy 25,000. That's why it could be a better deal. But you're talking about even an exit strategy. That's something you also have to have when you're playing the casino game like the stock market, is an exit strategy. When do I want to take the money out so I can buy assets with it? And I mean, you could definitely think on the way down, I mean, on its next big move down, and then maybe for its dead cat bounce, but it's a guessing game for when that's going to happen. Now, I'm not saying a bank holiday is going to exist, because it might, but even if it doesn't exist, there could be time in getting money, and inflation could just get out of control. That it's just a lot of things that are possible for us to do, because that's how the equity markets work. It could be a lot of hassle for a lot of the things in which we're doing for investing. And thank you for the email. All of the emails that I get, I try to read. If it's like a massively large email, I would rather you send it to my actual email address, endlessmountain2008@yahoo.ca. And if they're small and short and sweet, then there's a better chance you're going to get a reply back. If you send me a video link, it's likely that I'm not going to watch it. If you explain this is a Jim Rogers video on this, then that might be a little bit different. But if you just copy and paste a YouTube video with the watch on it, I like never watch it, basically. Comments, I read 98% of them. I try to reply to as many of them as I can, but I know a lot of times there just isn't enough time in the day to do everything. But I do thank you for all of your communication, and I wouldn't mind doing a few of these Q&As right on here like this, because I think this helps. And instead of telling one person this strategy, tell anyone who's looking to get out of the dollar this information, because I don't know how much time we got. I mean, I can guess, and the guessing is talking now months, so that's the best I can do right now. I would like to thank you all for watching this video, rating, commenting, and subscribing. It's just so amazing to be able to be part of this revolution, and that's really what this is a revolution. And I'd like to hear more on what you guys are doing towards the revolution, because there's many ways of doing it, whether it's peaceful, non-peaceful, But just going to the new world, you can do it through making videos, by going on the street, and just changing your life away the system. Just doing these things to get out of the dollar is something as far as revolting into the new world, if you will. So thanks again, and have yourself a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.